and they start doing similar things. Like I was supposed to go to India last week, Tuesday, or something like, wasn't it Tuesday? Yeah, the 18th, I was supposed to go. And then all the devotees said, no, no, don't go, stay a few days more. And they came up with so many reasons and, you know, so many arguments why. So at first I said, no, I'm not going to change my plans. I would lose so much money. I don't want to lose Krishna's money. I was talking like that. And then they said, no, no, we'll buy you another ticket. You won't lose any money. It's not about money. It was about to get them to display their feelings of attraction and attachment. But anyway, I don't play around with people's emotions like that. There really was a good reason for me to stay, and it was because the last time that we did initiations, I was like knocked out for 2 or 3 days afterwards. And if I had to go on a long plane trip in that condition, that wouldn't be very good. So I decided to stick around for another 2 weeks or so, and it's working out pretty good. I'm feeling better now. But it was really, I mean, that festival was really ecstatic. We were exhausted afterwards, but it was worth it. I would do it again next year. We have so many other things to do now to establish our preaching in India. So we need a break. Whew. But the spiritual world is like that every day. Every day there's ecstatic pastimes and singing and dancing and wonderful, intense dramas and all kinds of amazing stuff going on with Krishna. Never a dull moment. So, are there any questions? See, I have the drum right here. If we don't get any questions, I'm going to call the lion.
This is a little question about the spiritual world. You said like every day is just ecstatic and wonderful, but like in the spiritual world, that like there are no days, are there? I mean, you can pick where you want to be and whatever time you want to be in.
Now you're mixing up two different things. Oh. In the spiritual world, there's of course there's days, and time exists in the sense that there are sequences of events, but in the spiritual world, time is not like it is in the material world. It's not like everyone is pushed along by this inexorable force of time. It's only in the material world. In the spiritual world, if you want, you can slow time down, or you can speed it up, or you can stop it, or you can go backwards, or you can branch off into these alternate realities or alternate sequences of events, or you can go around in circles, or whatever you want. You're not stuck in time the way we are here.
So you could spend eternity in one day.
If you wanted to, yeah. If you really liked what was happening on that day, you could relish it for as long as you want. But of course, you know, we all thrive on variety. So after a while, you would become satiated with that pastime, and then when you're ready, you can move on to the next pastime. You don't have to. See, the tyranny of time is only in the material world. In the spiritual world, we have a much greater freedom of how we experience time. So Prabhupada used to say, in the spiritual world, time is conspicuous by its absence. But he didn't mean that there's no time. What he meant is that we have a choice. We have freedom in time in the spiritual world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Huh?
You're going to say something else?
Yes. But no, you say it first.
I want to comment on about the intensity of emotions. and this world is very, I think especially in the West, in my experience, the emotions are dealt with very cheaply. Like for example, a crude example, my parents, I would come to my house late, and my dad would say, "Oh, I was very worried. Why didn't you come?" Right? And then you would see his activities. He was sleeping or something like that, in his worry. And in the scriptures, there's many times where the devotees are like, they're fainting and they feel like dying and like that.
They're rolling on the ground.
And the contrast, because these things are real. I mean, they're really intense. They really feel like they're dying of separation. Not just, oh, I miss Kṛṣṇa. Where is Kṛṣṇa?
Yeah.
But it's really intense.
Yeah.
And that if anyone really wants to experience spiritual life, they have to like this intensity. Otherwise, it's just like a dry religion, just some routine you do every day, and it becomes boring, you know.
Yeah. What we do in the West is that we ritualize emotion into material forms. Like, you know, instead of expressing our emotions directly to someone, we'll send them a card. Or send flowers. I love this one, send flowers. I mean, what is that all about, you know? Send me dead flowers in the morning. It is. Rolling Stone. But in the spiritual world, the emotions are always expressed directly to Kṛṣṇa, because Kṛṣṇa is present everywhere. Actually, Kṛṣṇa is present everywhere, even now. But because we're so dull, we don't see him. We're not aware of his presence. He's hiding within our hearts as the super soul, watching everything. Yeah, that's what lions do, you know. They'll hide in the bushes and watch everybody. And when the opportune moment, they'll suddenly jump out. So, yes, that's what he's like, you know. He has that character. Hari means lion. So, yeah, the expressions of love in the material world are so incredibly blunted, you know. They're like impotent. They're not very beautiful either, because no one in this world, or very few in this world, study any kind of arts. So their powers of expression are very stunted, you know, childlike even. So for them to express emotions is very difficult. You know, an artist, and that's what an artist does, is express emotions through some kind of medium, through some kind of art. You know, so for example, in the style of dancing that we're going to study, the South Indian style of dancing, makes very, very much use of the eyes. And different expressions of the eyes, and rolling the eyes, and moving of the eyes, and so on. There's sidelong glances, things like that are described in the scriptures. They actually do this in the dance at the proper moments. It's not out of context. So in this way, there's so many things: the gestures, the mudras, the different steps and rhythms, and the ragas and everything are all simply expressions of ecstatic emotions. So you see, to understand the Indian arts, Vedic music, Vedic drama, Vedic dancing, stuff like this, you have to know this science of rasa. At the very minimum, these 12 rasas, the 5 direct and 7 indirect rasas. These are the basic raw material of all the arts. So expressing these emotions, and especially emotions in relation to Kṛṣṇa, this is what it's all about. This is what devotional service is all about. And there are 64 art forms connected with devotional service. It's one of the things that we're going to go over. So there's no lack of things to understand or study in devotional service. It's not like, it's just about, just chant Hare Krishna and offer some flowers and that's it, It's really very, very deep. It's a whole culture. It's a whole civilization. You can study your whole life and only cover like one tiny little part of the knowledge that's available there. And of course, the perfection or the aim of all of this activity is to develop love of Krishna for ourselves. Not only the love of Krishna, the sentiment of love of Krishna, but the expression, because the expression is actually not separate from the